Oh, you're on mute.
There we go. I make that joke every day. You get one a day where you leave a call.
There's always one. There's always one. Not so welcome, Daniel. So you're going to take us through, aren't you, the Visit Connect package in a bit more detail. So over to you.
Thank you very much. Well, good morning, everybody. As Jenny rightfully introduced me, I am the Client Relations Director for Visit Intelligence here at GES. You'll hear GES mentioned quite a bit, and I know Jenny's last slide there mentioned GES. For those of you that aren't aware of who we are as a business, we pretty much do everything in the events world, from physical stand building all the way to the area that I'm involved with, which is the event intelligence arm. For yourselves, we're going to be talking about Visit Connect, and really our expertise here is in how we capture data for an event, but then how we use that and how we successfully implement that at an event. There's a huge difference, and we see this day in, day out. There's a huge difference between an exhibitor that just turns up to an event without a plan really and doesn't really know the kind of data they want to get out, to that exhibitor that turns up with a prepared plan, knowing exactly what they want to come away from an event with, and then the implementation of how they do that. So I'm going to talk to you about how Visit Connect can work with that. I'm going to give you some information, some stats that we've collected over the years. We run hundreds and hundreds of events every year. Even in today's scenario, we've got 5 on today as such. So we have a lot of data where we capture this from. And the first stat that I really want to share with you that we've really been aware of is that, having spoken with exhibitors, 57% of sales take place before you've even engaged with your customer, before they've even engaged with your brand or they're even aware. There's this pre-knowledge really of what someone wants and where they're going. So really what we want to do is put you in a position where you've got new clients coming, you've got new people coming, and really give you the position to capture that information, to really give you that power to increase your sales going forward. And the principles here work the same. It doesn't matter what you're selling or what your service is. The principles of capturing the right data really make this key. So where we start with that is finding out, well, who's coming to the event. And we see this all the time. We see people, you've invested a lot of money to be an exhibitor at an event, really finding out who's going. Now, you're likely to interact with your current your current database of clients at the moment, but actually what we're talking about here is really pushing it out to find out, well, who else is coming? Who are we not aware of that's coming? So this is where we would really stress that at the moment you're starting to use things like any social channels that you might have, any direct contact databases that you might have, and just anything that you constantly do to start promoting that you are coming to the event. And the simplest way of doing that is literally to grab the registration link off of the website and say, we're going to be exhibiting at SDUK, come and see us, click here to register, and really start that conversation from today. I mean, that's vital for really having a successful event. And where we come out with some stats from this is that 64% of people that are going to interact with you during an event, normally they know that they want to see you before coming to the event, and they're likely to know that they're going to come and see you. So really, that's where this pre-contact becomes absolutely crucial, just for your existing clients and for your potential clients that are coming. Use every channel that you've got to start promoting that you're going to be at the event, and it will have a huge impact to the success of your event. Furthermore, with that, be targeted. A little bit of a cheesy graphic here on the screen, I know, but it kind of hits the point. Be targeted in terms of, well, why are you coming to the event? What do you want to see? So our basic example here is we've got 3 people that are interested in coming to see a car, but there is that one person that's interested in coming to see and talk about a boat. Now, if we're not aware that that person's coming to see and talk about a boat, we might not have the correct people on our stand. We might not have the correct content to support that. So really finding out, well, yes, we're at the event. What do you want to see from us? What do you want to talk to us about? Making sure that you've got the right resource at the event to be able to support those questions that are going to come in. Putting this bluntly, if someone comes up to your stand and says, oh, I'm really interested in this, and the person on your stand hasn't got the content or doesn't know how to support that or isn't confident in how they support that, then actually that could be a lost lead. I mean, because if I go to your competitor on a stand a few down, or I call them a few stands down, and they do know that, that's that instant relationship that I've built and that instant confidence that I've built. So, you know, be targeted, finding out what people are coming to see you for. You may have your own agendas of products that you want or services that you want to promote, but also it's really vital to spend that little bit of time just finding out what people want. So from our data, this is fairly huge. 72% of exhibitors rate capturing leads at an event as the #1 reason why they're exhibiting. So if it is the #1 reason why you're exhibiting, we need to give you the tools and the power to create quality quantified leads. And that is the big difference. My next graphic here, I'm sure over the years, you've all seen this. You've all done this. You've seen the giant fishbowl saying, please put your business cards in here. For me, from an event intelligence perspective, this is the worst thing possible I can see at an event. And hopefully nobody's watching this video now going, oh God, that's what we were planning to do. All this does essentially, great, it's a nice, easy way of getting a load of details. I've seen all sorts of things over the years. I've seen competitions run, you know, look, we'll give you a free bottle of champagne with your business card, all these things. It worked in the old days, is the honest answer, because that was our only way of sharing data. Today, all this is doing is creating you one big mailing list that you're going to send an email out for at the end saying, thanks for coming to see us. If you need any more info, this is who you contact. I know, and I'm sure you all know watching this presentation, how many emails we all get per day and how easy it is just to go, do you know what, not interested in that, bomb that off. What we're talking about here is really starting to give you quality feedback and quality information and content with our feedback. And how do we do that? Well, we have 2 tools for you on this event that we're going to give you that hopefully will allow you to do this. The first part within Visit Connect within our product is lead capture. So lead capture, this is really simple. And actually, we've progressed a lot of this over the last year and a half. And so traditionally at an event, you might have hired like a little 2D barcode scanner, and you might have scanned around badges. We don't typically do that on hardly any events these days. One, there's a cost element to it, but 2, it's a limitation, not to mention COVID issues of people sharing scanners and everything that comes with that. So we've moved into a more digital frame. We allow lead capture now directly through a mobile device. And as Jenny mentioned earlier, the package that's been invested for you guys is an unlimited package. So if you've got 50 people working on your stand, they can all have this working on their phones, working on their tablets to capture data. We've actually also really simplified the process of how you get this product onto a phone. You pre-event will be sent an email that has a little link saying, click here to access the Visit Connect portal. You click that, and this all runs through a web browser on your phone. There's now no need to download any apps or any process. And we've moved away from that for ease of use, for making sure your battery doesn't die during an event, and also for just opening this up so that anyone can do it. So the important things to think about here is, okay, I'm going to an event. What do I want to come away from the event with? What data do I want to come away with? I don't want just a big big Excel spreadsheet full of email addresses, because I can't follow that up. And what we can do is we can tailor things like questions. So when you've got your phone, as you can see in the little hand on the right-hand side here, it's quite simple. There'll be a little button that says add lead. It'll activate your camera. You might need to allow the permission for that on the first time. And then you literally just scan a QR code on a visitor's badge. That will bring through the content, and that will bring through, you know, the content that we're sharing, such as email addresses, contact names, anything that we're sharing. But there's more to this. You can tailor questions. Some really good examples of questions might be, well, actually, we've got 3 core products that were showing at the event. Which of those 3 core products were they interested in? Let's just ask that question and tick that for every lead that we're taking. That then means I can follow up on those products. Other good examples of questions that we've seen over the years, show how hot or cold a lead is. You know, we all know from that instant conversation of, oh, this is a great contact, I want to follow up on this right now, or a little bit of a waste of my time, perhaps we will follow up with a courtesy, but I have other priorities. For you to get that data coming out of the event is key. So add a question in your portal, add something like, how hot is this lead? And put hot, cold, tepid, however you want to classify them, put those in there. The web portal that you get with Visit Connect will allow you to add as many questions as you want, but just be careful that you're not sitting there with someone asking 100 questions over and over again. Make sure that you're getting key questions that you can put through. There might be a case where we need to work out what type of questions that you're doing, and you know, we can help you with that. If you need any support in terms of how the questions get uploaded, the Visit support team can help you with that. But really, those are the key things that you need to be looking at. You can also see that you'll be able to add things like notes and media as well. So notes is quite simple. It is literally for every lead that you take, put a note, and really do follow up with that, because the more info that you get, you know, you need to follow up with an exact PDF, or I need to follow up and make sure they had a call or a meeting with so-and-so. More data that you can take at this point per lead, the better. Media, I've seen lots of uses for this. Someone might bring you something and go, look, this is what I've got. You might want to just take a photo of it and use that as a content. I've even seen people literally taking photos so they remember the face and the name, so they remember who they talk to. So there's lots of different ways. The other thing to really think about at this point is to brief your staff and really make sure that they know that these are the questions that we've set up. This is the content that we want to gather, and this is where we're going. So please make sure if a conversation goes down a certain route, we are asking them X, Y, and Z so that we're getting that content. Make sure that any staff taking the leads are briefed as to what you want to get from the event. And that's really crucial. So that's the lead generation aspect of it. There's another aspect to Visit Connect that you're going to be getting on this event, and that's digital content. So something that we've introduced really over the last couple of the years is the ability to have QR codes placed around your stand. And what the QR codes can do is they can allow a visitor to come up. Each visitor will also have access to their own portal, and they can go up and they can scan a QR code. And this QR code could download a document that you've uploaded in the portal, a video, maybe some audio. It can, or a link to a website, for example. It can actually pretty much be linked to anything. And this really replaces, you know, the days of having hundreds of brochures printed out, hundreds of leaflets printed out. But what it's actually doing at the same time is it's generating you a lead. And something that we've seen more and more over the years is that actually not everybody wants to come up and have a conversation. You know, people's confidence levels might not be at that level where they want to come up and have a conversation, but they could still be really interested in your product or your service. And QR codes are great for this, especially if they're promoted well within your stand. And you can see here in our little image that we've got a clear display of how a QR code would look. You may get the best lead that you've got through a QR code. It could be that you're having a conversation with someone here, and just behind your back, that person that maybe you would have missed because you were busy in another conversation actually goes and scans the QR code because they're interested in the product that you've linked to that QR code. It's a really good interactive way of allowing the visitor to have the power to be interested. Also, if you've got any employees that are concerned about using the lead capture aspect, or maybe they are just hopping on and off of your stand, you know, QR codes is another great way because you can lead a conversation that way. You can actually say, well, look, I've got a brochure that shows everything about this product. All you need to do is scan this QR code and the brochure will automatically come through to you. You know, things like this are a really useful, powerful tool for you to be able to engage with your audience going forward. I've even seen scenarios where I've seen a stand that for God knows what reason, but it's been left empty. And, you know, cardinal sin number one, really, that it's been empty. But it's actually still been generating leads because people have been scanning those QR codes and been interested in the display that's there. So don't use that as a fallback, whatever happens. But, you know, it's really about making your stand an interactive stand, about making it something that they can play with, something that they can get involved with. And yeah, please have a think about how you would use those QR codes, how you would display them within your stand, and the products that you would link them to, or the websites that you link them to, the audio codes. It's a really great tool to turn an event from a static event into more of an interactive event. So generally, we see visitors really happy that they've got something to do. So it's really good. Now, what does this all lead down to? So you've got two ways that this data is coming in. You've got lead capture, where someone is actually taking the badges and scanning them. And you've also got the QR codes, where you're basically allowing visitors to get the content. All of this data feeds live into a real-time portal. Now, this is a web portal that you will basically have access to. And as this data is coming in, I think this is where preparation is really key. A lot of exhibitors at an event will essentially look at this data post the event. They'll send their follow-ups, and you know, look, that works. But the really good exhibitors, the ones that we see that are really, you know, excelling with this, have someone back in their office that isn't taking away from the time on the stand, that isn't taking away from the concentration, and they're looking at your Visit Connect web portal, they're seeing these leads coming in, and they're literally feeding out the information and feeding out the feedback during the event from a remote location. That is a massive, massive benefit that really makes you stand out as an exhibitor. I know personally, if I'm walking around an event and I say, oh, hello, I'm interested in your product, and within 10-15 minutes, there's all the information emailed through to me saying, would you like to book a meeting with Dave or whoever? That to me instantly gives me confidence in you as a supplier, and you as a company. And I think, do you know what, they really want to work with me. If I wait a week later and I get a generic email come through saying, thanks for coming to see us, talk to us more, I'm thinking, well, it's taken a week. How much do you actually want my business? So have a think about how you can implement that. I know not everybody has got the resource to do it. And the one thing I would say is don't let this take it away from your ambitions live at the event. So don't have someone with a laptop at the event that is doing this, because it's more important that you are engaging with the audience at the event. But if you can afford someone remotely, then it works really well with this live data coming through. Just to reassure you, because we're talking a lot about live data here, if the worst happened and you had no network connection, no Wi-Fi connection at the event, you can still capture leads. The program, the process, and the app process will still allow you to capture those leads. All that will happen is once you then do get a connection again, you will then basically go online again. Okay, so it will resync it online as soon as you've got that connection. I've seen this before where we've had events out in the middle of a desert and they sync their data through once they get back to their hotel at the end of the night. So it works. So be assured with that. You're not going to lose any data or anything. So just have a little case study here for you. A company recently of staying connected. So one of the key things that I want to just sort of stress with this case study is really to work out why you want what you want from your data and why you're going to the event. This case study here was for a company that actually they focused on increasing subscribers to their digital platform themselves. So they scanned 2,800 potential subscribers. They contacted those immediately, and by the end of the event, they already had 750 new subscribers. Now, I know that sounds less than 50%, but anybody that's worked in that world will know that's a massive success. And again, it's just about that instant contact of getting back. Bit of a scary fact here, actually, and this is something that we've seen over the years, is that 80% of leads that are taken at a generic event are not followed up with post-event. And that's really scary, because you've put all of that work into having a stand built, into putting your presence at an event, and then nothing's been followed up with it. So what we're trying to do is trying to get this up, that you're not just following post-event, you're following during the event, and really that we're giving you all the tools to get that quality data that will allow you to do a quality review and a quality follow-up. The next thing to think about as well is how you're going to measure your success. Okay, this is a little bit of a crude graphic because success is measured in a number of ways, really. Yes, look, at the end of the day, exhibiting at any event is an expensive process. You know, you invest a lot of money. You want a return on that investment that you've put in. So quantifying that success, I think, is key, and really thinking about that from now is what do we want from this event? Do we want X amount of sales? Do we want X amount of leads? Do we want to increase our sales by a certain amount? And really looking at how we measure this success. So if you've spent, you know, 10,000, what are we expecting that 10,000 to turn into? You know, my example here of £5 return on every pound that you spent at an event would be a target, but it may not all be revenue based as well. It may actually be about increasing your presence, increasing your subscriptions and things like that. So yeah, I would focus on that as well. Return on investment is key, and again we have another case study here where an exhibitor generated 85 leads, 12 of which they flagged as hot. And I think that's really key because they flagged those 12 as a hot lead, they focused on those, and then I'll let you read the screen yourselves, but effectively that investment that they put in an investment of around £4,500, actually then went on to generate over £1 million worth of leads because they focused on those 12 hot leads. They knew exactly what they wanted to get and came away with that quality data. So it's crucial is the honest thing that I can say, is making sure that you've got a plan and that you're focusing through with it. So just to finish off, really, there's three things that I'm focusing on here in terms of your preparation, pre-event planning, who is coming, be targeted in finding out why they're coming, what they're doing. If you want, let them know that you're there, book a meeting with them to come and see you at a certain time. Just really start getting interactive from now, advertising the fact that you're at the event and what you're doing at the event. At the event, capture your leads, be that via the lead capture, be that via the QR, and then respond in real time if possible, because it makes a huge difference. Post-event, look, it's there 3 times for a reason. Just follow up, follow up, follow up. This becomes the first step in your sales process, and make sure that you are following up, because otherwise you're just not seeing that return on your investment. So thank you all for that. I'm